according to the title of this video, God doesn't owe you proof. The evidence is all around us. Which sounds more than a little defensive. But alright, sure, fine. I don't expect anything from God, that's cool. So since I can't see how any of this supposed evidence is evidence, maybe you could point it out for me. Random video creator?
Why should I believe in God?
Well, there's a photograph of him right there, made by the smartest computer in the world, the AI creation being. It's biblically accurate that the angels have one wing and flipper hands with weird fingers. It must be, the computer knows everything.
Why should I believe in God? He hasn't done anything for me.
What is this, a transaction? You only believe in people who do stuff for you? Like the guy shows up with your Uber Eats order and you're like, alright, you're real. Consider that your tip.
If he's real, let him show me.
I mean, yeah, sure, if he cares about that. That's usually how relationships work, right? If you want to get to know someone who's not even aware of your existence yet, then you introduce yourself? I don't think that's unreasonable. I think it's just kind of obvious.
How many times have you heard or even thought this yourself?
Who, me? Oh, well, I'm on record saying something similar a number of times. Like the thing I just said about if you want a relationship, maybe introduce yourself. That general category of thing. Again, it's kind of an obvious thought. It's a pretty obvious thing to think in response to Christians constantly insisting that I need to have this relationship that they think they have.
Today we're diving into the dangerous mindset of expecting God to prove himself to us.
Oh, so this isn't about me then, because I don't expect God to do anything, obviously. I expect you to do stuff, and suck at it.
Spoiler alert.
Do we have to start the spoiler section this early? I want to keep this exciting for the viewers for, well, at least as long as it takes for like 2 mid-rolls. Hey, some of these angels sort of have 2 wings, and feet that pop off of one leg and attach to the other one. Inspirational.
God doesn't owe us anything, and he's already left more proof of his existence than we could ever imagine.
Wow, so he doesn't owe us any evidence, but he left some anyway. That's generous. Can I have some?
Let's get real.
Oh, that's definitely what we're going to do in this video. I see that happening.
This mindset comes from a place of pride.
Nah, I'm a piece of shit. I just want evidence, though. If anything, you seem like you're too proud of the awesomeness of the evidence everywhere to just tell me what it is. Either that or lazy.
It's the ego that says, God, you're on trial here. Convince me you're worth believing in.
No. See, the courts are already backed up. If they started trying all the non-existent people, too, they'd never get through them all, and the country would probably go bankrupt. And I'm kind of the same way. I got limited time here. Maybe once I'm done with you, and you convince me that your beliefs are true, then I'll put God on trial for facilitating the fentanyl epidemic by making it chemically possible.
But the Bible tells us the truth.
Oh, sorry, God's currently not on trial. He's not even charged with anything. So the court currently isn't examining documentary evidence in that case. That's what you're insisting on, right? So you're welcome.
Who are you, a human being, to talk back to God as stated in Romans chapter 9, verse 20?
Yes, the shut the fuck up, I'll take away your free will if I feel like it part. How is that relevant to what you're talking about? We're not having a free will discussion. And atheists aren't talking back to God. Look, I've made like 500 response videos or something, and not one of them was to that guy.
Imagine standing before the creator of the universe and demanding that he entertain us with miracles as if he's some performer on stage.
Okay, hold on. Yay. That was a fun imagining. Thank you for the suggestion. If anyone has more, leave them in the comments. I collect them.
That's the ego speaking loud and clear.
Oh, that's what an ego is? Dude, I gotta read Freud.
Let's pause
Hello?
and look at the world around us. God's fingerprints are everywhere.
Wait, so you're telling me that the Milky Way is not the galaxy? It's just a big old grease smear from God's finger. Gross.
From the vastness of the stars in the night sky to the intricate design of a single flower, creation screams of God's existence.
Well, at least we're not going with clouds and trees. We're going with stars and flowers. That's nice. But yeah, see, you're making an argument right now. Your argument is, look, a flower. Therefore God. Now, I'm not standing in front of God going, dance for me, monkey. It is on my bucket list, but unfortunately, I think I might have to postpone that one until after I kick the bucket. No, all I'm doing is standing in front of you and saying, hey, can you fill in premise 2? Like you say the flower's screaming at me, God exists! But if so, it's the quietest goddamn scream imaginable. The only screams I ever hear that say that come from you guys.
The heavens declare, The glory of God, the skies proclaim the work of his hands.
Yeah, the great heavenly grease smear you showed me already.
As stated in Psalm chapter 19, verse 1.
Yeah, hey look guys, there's stuff in the sky that we think is a frigging dome. That's probably God did that, because, we're ancient Israelites. What else are we gonna think?
Think about the human body.
Okay, hold on. Ugh.
The way your heart beats without you thinking.
Yeah, I can tell yours beats without you thinking. Ever.
The way a baby is formed in the womb.
But how is Babby formed?
And the complexity of DNA.
Whoa, you're right, DNA. I don't know. So, God.
These are no accidents.
I don't know about the other ones, but the baby forming in the womb definitely might be.
These are intentional works of a loving creator.
Yeah, and see again, so your argument is, look, a heart. Oh, therefore God. And when people ask you, hey, can you fill out the argument a little bit so there's something there to talk about at least? You go, shut up, don't question God, Romans 9:20. Do you see why it's not that effective? Maybe if you put a little less effort into the color-changing subtitles and zooms and stuff, you could free up a little bandwidth and be able to think at the same time as your heart's beating, and then do the arguments more better. Although I might be fooling myself thinking you're doing any of that effort yourself.
Yet for many, that's not enough.
Yeah, no kidding. It's not enough that you just point at stuff and go, that's God, don't question me. How could it be?
They want something more, something spectacular, something undeniable.
No, at this point I'd settle for barely adequate.
But here's the truth.
It's not going to be the truth, is it?
No amount of evidence will convince a hardened heart that refuses to see.
A heart and heart? Yeah, you're not doing those subtitles manually. So no amount of evidence will convince... Yeah, called it. Wasn't the truth. Just more cope about people not believing your one garbage argument. This is sad, wow.
The ultimate proof of God's love and existence isn't in the miracles we demand. It's in the miracle he already performed.
Oh, the Jesus thing? Judging by the picture there? It looks a little like he's doing an interpretive dance. Okay, so yeah, I'm not really demanding that you produce miracles as evidence for God. Doesn't have to be miracles. I'm not really defining for you which evidence you should provide. I'm just saying, give me what you got and we'll see. I've seen a lot of what you got. Wasn't impressive. So give me more and we'll see. If you say, well, the Jesus. Yeah, what about the Jesus? I don't see any reason to think the supernatural parts of that story even happened. You, or somebody, have to find some convincing way to make that case before I take it as evidence for anything else. How is that not clear?
God came down as a man in Jesus Christ. He walked this earth, healed the sick, raised the dead, and taught the truth of salvation.
Yeah, I've heard lots of stuff.
And when humanity rejected him, he willingly went to the cross to die for our sins.
I think it's a little broad to say humanity rejected him, don't you think? I don't think that's the story.
But God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us, as stated in Romans chapter 5, verse 8. What more do we need?
Is that a serious question? What more do we need than you quoting Romans chapter 5, verse 8 at us? What do you think, man? I don't get this. Is the request unclear in some way?
What more could we ask for than a God who sacrificed himself for the very people who doubted him?
Well, we could ask you to explain a compelling reason for us to think that's the case. See, the reason I don't believe you is not that the story's not sparkly enough, that it doesn't pull at my heartstrings enough, or that it lacks a compelling climax and a satisfying denouement. You could try to put lightsabers in it to boost the audience appeal. That's not the point.
Yet even then, some said, if you're really the Son of God, come down from the cross, as stated in Matthew chapter 27, verse 40.
Yeah, randos passing by insulted him. Oh, if you're so powerful, why are you up there? That part should stay there. That's good storytelling. What are you complaining about?
Their hearts were blind to the greatest miracle happening right before their eyes.
Well, no, see, all that was visible to them was a guy dying on a cross. Regardless of whether the whole Jesus dying thing was a miracle, it wasn't visibly one. There was no indication of that whatsoever to these people. Why are you shitting on them for not finding it convincing? Why would they? Is this what qualifies as a compelling miracle to you? Something with no outward sign of being one, and you just have to take other people's word that it is one, and then you're an idiot if you don't? No, that's really dumb.
Here's a hard truth.
I bet it's not, again.
God isn't in the business of performing for us.
That's true. God's an infinitely good performer. We can't afford the infinite ticket price for an infinitely good show.
He's not some cosmic magician here to entertain us.
Nah, not a magician, no. That's for incels like Satan. God's calling is the cosmic ballet.
He is God Almighty, sovereign and holy. He owes us nothing, yet he's already given us everything.
Didn't give us tickets to the show.
It's not about what God has to prove to us. It's about what we owe him. Our faith, our trust, and our obedience.
Okay, that's great and all, but again, I'm not asking God for anything here. I'm not like, God, you owe me some evidence of your existence, although obviously, if someone's insisting that you enter a relationship with them and yet refuses to show that they exist, that is a little strange, but I don't think that's happening, so I don't really care. The questions are for you guys, the guys trying to convince us guys, and you're trying to use God's sovereign holiness as a shield to deflect questions away from yourself. Hey man, you want me to believe this thing you believe? That's cool. What makes it believable? Don't question God! God is sovereign and holy! He's not your personal cosmic magician! He doesn't owe you anything!
Come on, what time?
Yeah, so when you say God, you kind of just mean you. I don't owe you anything. I don't have to perform for you. I don't have to demonstrate anything. I don't have to bring an argument. And this is supposed to be something other than hilariously pathetic?
Do you remember the story of Pharaoh in the book of Exodus?
Yeah, I just referenced it with Romans 9.
God performed miracle after miracle, plague after plague, and still Pharaoh's heart was hardened.
Oh, and whose fault was that? Now I can ask you, do you remember the story? Might want to go back and brush up on that one. Also, Pharaoh's heart was hardened. That's the second time this has happened, switching hard to heart. Top tier auto subtitles. Are you somehow unable to correct them after you put them in? Or did you just not feel like it?
That's the danger of living in a state of prove it, God.
No, that's the danger of living in the state described in Romans 9, where God revokes your free will whenever he wants to, and hardens people's hearts on a whim. How did you miss that? It's not subtle.
Even when God does move, many will still find a reason not to believe.
If your example's representative, it sounds more like the omnipotent God makes it impossible for them to believe. Why blame them for that? What are they supposed to overpower God with their infinity +1 heart-softening ability?
The issue isn't a lack of evidence, it's a lack of humility.
No, it's a lack of free will in that case, but speaking more broadly, did you ever consider that it might also display a lack of humility when you insist that other people have to just believe you because you think they should, and then you insult them and tell them to shut up when they object? You like Bible verses, right? Matthew 7 verse 3 is a great one.
We need to humble ourselves and get rid of this entitled mindset.
Yeah, good advice.
God doesn't owe us anything, but we owe him everything. The Bible says, humble yourselves before the Lord and he will lift you up, as stated in James chapter 4 verse 10.
Yeah, that's great. I'll keep that in mind for once you humble yourself enough to bother doing anything to convince anyone. Get me on board the believe everything in the Bible train, and then I'll do that. But until then, what is this supposed to accomplish?
When we lay down our pride, we begin to see the beauty and grace of God in every part of our lives. Faith isn't about sitting back and waiting for God to prove himself.
No, you're right. It's about sitting back and waiting for everyone else to prove God to themselves. I have to say I do like your strategy. I find it delightfully ineffective. And although I'm mocking you for it, I do wholeheartedly endorse it.
It's about trusting him even when we don't see everything clearly.
Okay, see, I understand that if you believe in God and you're like, look, I don't understand some stuff. I don't understand your whole plan and why everything is the way it is. But I'm with you, bro. I know you got my back. But what if you don't see that there's a God at all? Oh, just trust him anyway. Trust who? This isn't gonna work, man. I'm sure it feels like a real clever way to get out of work, and it will get you out of work. It's just that when you don't do the work, then the stuff also doesn't get done. Again, fine by me in the sense that it's to my benefit, but even so, I can't help having a problem with people who are this bad at strategy.
Now, faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance of what we do not see, as stated in Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1.
Oh, so hey atheists, hope more, and then just believe me because of that. Yeah, cool, no.
Think about it. You trust that car will start each morning you drive?
Well, yeah, in the sense that most times it does, and I'm not aware of any reason why it wouldn't. But nevertheless, there have been numerous times in my life where the car did not start. Sometimes when I'm stuck outside in -40 weather. The winters here are way too cold for me to have total confidence in this. Also, what the hell kind of a way is this to hold your kids?
That chair you sit on will hold you.
Okay, see, again, this is just an argument from probability. Like, how many times have you sat on a chair like that, or that exact chair, and nothing happened? How many times did you go to start the car and the car started? What is the apparent condition of the chair, or the apparent condition of the car? There's lots of cars and lots of chairs. I take one glance at them and I'm like, nope. I weigh 250 pounds. I've noped out of many a chair. Now, if you show me a chair that's made out of like silly string, and you say, hey dude, faith is the confidence in things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I know you can't see how that chair could possibly hold you, but you hope it will, and trust me, that means it will. You just have to have faith. How am I supposed to respond to that? Well, apparently I'm supposed to humble myself. Stop demanding that the chair perform for me by appearing in any way capable of holding my weight. Humble yourself before the chair and it will lift you up. And I go, yes, that's true. I need to put down my pride. Get rid of the entitled mindset that silly string lacks structural integrity. And with my renewed faith, I flop myself down on the chair with absolute certainty that it will hold me. And then I fall down on my ass and everyone laughs and goes, how the hell did you fall for that? That happened once when I worked in a warehouse. I had one of those carts that you stack boxes on to haul them around, like this. And I had like sore knees or something, so I decided it would be a good idea to like half sit on the thing. And it flew out from under me and I fell down on my ass on the concrete. And the guy I was working with thought it was the funniest thing ever. He was like, that's like Lurch from the Addams Family. Didn't help that I was tall and skinny. So then I was stuck with the nickname Lurch for the rest of the summer. If one of you out there remembers who I am based on that from 20 years ago, good job, I guess.
Why is it so hard to trust the God who gave you life?
To trust that it exists? Based purely on your say-so? Well, see, I don't trust you. I don't think you have a single damn clue what you're talking about.
Today I challenge you to open your eyes and see God's proof all around you.
My eyes are literally always open, and all around me. Did you not watch the Corner episode? Try to keep up.
Look at the beauty of creation.
Pretty. Therefore, God.
The sacrifice of Jesus.
That one's harder to look at.
And the fact that you're still here breathing and alive.
Yeah, I'm breathing and alive and beating my heart and thinking all at the same time. Not many people can say that. I should get a prize or something.
Stop waiting for some big show and start seeing the miracles he's already done.
Yeah, but see, you keep mentioning the big show. All you're doing is getting me more excited for the big show. If I promise to see the miracles he's already done first, can I see the big show after?
The proof is there. You just have to humble yourself and look.
Okay, but see, you told me to look at the finger smear of stars. You told me to look at a flower. You told me to look at pretty stuff. And you told me to look at the sacrifice of Jesus, which I assume just means read about it. And I've done all those things. Now what? Well, now I have to find some rational path from there are flowers and pretty things and so on to there's a God, and I don't see one. So I'm humbling myself and humbly, with humility, asking you, humbly, what's the reasoning? And your only answer, apparently, is it's God because I said so, shut up and stop asking questions. Great, what a useless conversation.
Let us end with a prayer.
Nah, let us end right now. You haven't earned a prayer. Alright, well, thank you everybody for watching. If you would, before you go, please do give the video a like and click subscribe if you haven't, and if you like the channel, maybe consider supporting. A few bucks a month is enormously helpful, and huge thanks to all of my supporters who've already made that choice. Early access, email list, list.logicked.com, and I'll see you next time.